Hello and welcome to the new season of Arts 24 Today. A woman sleeps at the foot of a church in a designated safe space for drug addicts in Philadelphia. The city is the ground zero for a new and dangerous sedative known as Tranq. Bangladeshi women in front of the 3,000-metre wall between India and Bangladesh, a barrier built to limit immigration. And a man enters one of Benin's 3,000 sacred voodoo forests. These images are all from long-term photo reports taken by my guest today, multi-award-winning Belgian photojournalist Gaël Turine. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, over the past 25 years, your work has been widely exhibited throughout Europe and the world. You're regularly published in the international press. You've got two very different exhibitions on at the moment. The first is called The Ravages of Tranq Dope. It's showing at the VisaPourl'Image Photojournalism Festival in Perpignan in the south of France. We're going to look at some of the images, but first, can you introduce the topic to us, please?
Yeah, the Tranq is a new drug. It's the result of the mixing of two different drugs. One is a tranquilizer. It's a veterinary tranquilizer mixed up with the fentanyl, which is the opioid, the well-known opioid, but it could be also mixed with heroin or crack. And the Tranq dope is now all over the U.S., and Philadelphia has become the hard point, the ground zero of the trafficking and consumption of this terrible drug. And so I thought we have to do something and show to Europe, what is happening there, because at some point it will be here.
Okay, well, they're very powerful images. Let's take a look. So, Gaël, those photos are part of your series showing at VisaPourl'Image, which were taken in Philadelphia, as you said. It's the ground zero for a new and dangerous sedative, which is known now as Tranq or Tranq Dope. Now, a side effect of this drug can be people being bent over, which is why the media is often describing it as the zombie drug. Tell us, how do you go about tackling such a difficult subject as this?
Kensington, the Philadelphia neighborhood where I took all those photographs, is now considered as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in all the U.S. So I thought, okay, how am I going to take one single picture? But I had no choice. I mean, at some point, you have to do something. I had to do something. Then I thought, okay, I should maybe go to one addict and talk to that person and try to explain him what I wanted to do and why I want to do it. And I was highly surprised how many of them were not enthusiastic, but they really wanted me to tell the story.
Okay.
And so most of the drug addicts I talked to agreed that I would spend some time with them and take photographs of them, okay, and tell me their story.
The photos, well, they're tragic, and they make the viewer feel uncomfortable looking at them. I wanted to ask you about one of those photos in particular. It's a photo where we see a woman. I'm not sure where she is, you can tell us. It's hardly believable that this was taken in modern-day America. Yeah.
This woman is a Tranq addict, and she uses to live in a tent. I mean, we are in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and it's a kind of a compound, an encampment with several tents where Tranq addicts used to live. And the police was about to clean up the area because the city mayor decided that now all those addicts had to move and they had to be kicked out of the city. So she got a couple of minutes, let's say, to gather some items and things she wanted to keep with her. And so I was there on that very moment, and I took this series of images, but I selected this one because we I was not only focusing on her, but also on the context. We can easily see the amount of garbage and all, I mean, where she used to live on a daily basis. Yeah.
And Gaël, you've travelled the world. This is just one of many diverse projects. As a photojournalist, you worked with the blind in West Africa and published a book. Another book was about what it was like to be aged 20 in Kabul. Between 2005 and 2010, you worked on a project about the Voodoo religion in Benin, Miami, New Orleans, and via Haiti. That book was published in 2011, but this year you revisited the subject of Voodoo, and your work is being shown in Brittany at the festival of Gacilly. Tell us a little bit more about that project.
Yeah. You know, when I completed the Voodoo series in 2010, right after the terrible earthquake that hit Port-au-Prince on January 2010, I put it aside, and then years later, I realized that I forgot to include something, which is the role played by the Voodoo religion in the preservation of nature and environment. And because of today's situation in terms of deforestation, I thought that it would be maybe the right moment for me to make a specific story on the intimate relation Voodoo believers and worshippers have with nature, and how important the Voodoo religion is very important today to preserve the nature and those primary forests in Benin.
The forests are protected, aren't
they? Because of the sacred, the status those forests have. They are sacred, so people do fear to enter those forests and do fear to destroy those forests. Illegal coal miners or the people who are cutting trees and selling trees, or people looking for, let's say, diamonds or gold. They will not enter those forests because they do fear the deities who live there.
Okay.
And so then the Voodoo religion has become the most important player
to protect the forest there. Well, the project is called The Spirits of the Forest. Let's take a look. Just one of many projects you have worked on over the past 25 years. Your career spans a quarter of a century. What's a career highlight for you?
As a photojournalist, I think my series, The Wall and the Fear, that I produced all over the border wall between India and Bangladesh, is definitely the highlight. Yeah.
Okay, and tell us why.
Because I think that's the very moment I realized how much a photo series could play a definitive role in the transmission of a story. And I wanted to disseminate the story. And that photo series has been published widely over the world. And it's the very first time that one of my series I would say helped or gave the possibility to thousands and hundreds of thousands of readers to discover that specific border wall.
Yeah, it's important. You also, Gaël, amongst all these trips, you teach photojournalism in Brussels, and you hold workshops in various countries, including Haiti, Turkey, and Senegal. During the summer, we saw some fantastic photojournalism. For example, the shooting of Donald Trump. Those photos, they captured everyone's imaginations, the photos from Ivan Vucci. And there were some incredible images as well from the Paris Olympics. But of course, everyone is capturing photos and publishing them. There's so many photos online these days. How do you feel about the place of photojournalism and its future today?
Yeah, I think there is a place. There is a future. We need those documents as well, because there are many, many places where photojournalists just can't access.
We always end our shows with our guests' cultural pick of the moment. What have you chosen for us?
Yeah, it's an exhibition by a Korean artist, Kam Soo-ji, and she has an exhibition at La Bourse here in Paris. And I visited the show in June, and I remember how much I was moved by the fine work she produced and proposes in that exhibit, which allows someone like me who doesn't know anything about the Korean culture. I know a little bit, but let's say almost nothing. And through the work and through all the text and explanations, I really got a sense that I had a better understanding on the identity quest and identity issues she wanted to raise through the work. Okay. I found it very, very fascinating.
Gaël Turine, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to leave you with Kim Suja's work at Paris's Bourse de Commerce, which is on until the 23rd of September. And Gaël Turine's exhibition, The Spirit of the Forest, is on until early November at the Gacilly Photo Festival in Brittany. And the Ravages of Tranq Dope exhibition is on until the 15th of September at the VisaPourl'Image Photo Festival in the south of France. Thanks for watching. See you next time.